Well, it was a long, long drive for going from Southern California up to Yellowstone, but it was worth every mile. This is a magical place, one of the most magical places I've ever been. Once we got to town, this town is right before you go into Yellowstone, and we stayed at Best Western Desert Inn. It was a wonderful place. It had an indoor pool and an indoor spa. Since you're going to see a lot of snow, and it was pretty cold even in May. But it was a wonderful place. They treated us well, and it also included breakfast. I think this was one of my most favorite Best Westerns Desert Inn I've ever stayed in. If you have never been there, give it a try if you ever get to Yellowstone. And the best part of all, as you can see, they had a place right in front, a pub and eatery, where you didn't have to walk very far to get a nice drink to unwind from a long day of driving and a wonderful meal. The whole town had wonderful, wonderful food. The day we got into town, it had been snowing the last couple of hours, and we didn't really want to drive, so we just walked around the whole first day of town. Sorry, I didn't have a lot of pictures to share with you, but I will share what I do have. After we got settled in our room, I said, let's go out and get something to eat and sort of explore this wonderful town right before you go into Yellowstone. After a long car ride, it felt good to get out. And here we came across Grizzly and Wolf Discovery Center. It is open year-round, and it's a non-profit. I had never heard of it. I didn't even know it was here. So it felt good to say, hey, let's go do something and explore something we have never seen before. And I'm so glad that we did. This was a very interesting place. They had lots of things to see and to enjoy. Lots of beautiful artwork, beautiful metal sculptures, and the building, as you can see, is very, very large and very beautiful, giving you lots and lots of great information inside on bears and wolves. And it was so educational, so if you have children or don't have children, I think you might enjoy going in here. They also explain and talk about how they maintain the bears and wolves in the Yellowstone area to keep them healthy and happy. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful place to go. The exhibits were really impressive, I thought, and they looked so lifelike. And here's Mama Bear with the babies, looking around to try to keep her babies safe. Isn't it cute? I just loved these wonderful displays they had. And we had a wonderful, wonderful time there. Now that was wonderful. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed it. But what was even better, after we read all the information about the different things out there, about everything to do with wolves and bears, and how they maintain everything, we went outside and saw what they had out there. And more beautiful sculptures, as you can see, but we actually saw the real thing also. And look at these bears. Are they not beautiful? We really, really enjoyed the bear exhibit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. It was a wonderful exhibit, but the wolves display was even better. So we spent most of our time in there. But they did have a lot of bears, and we did get to see them. And you see them horsing around. Now, this is where I really, really love, and this is where I spent the bulk of my time, was in this cabin. Now, I know it doesn't look like much, but this cabin is more than it seems. When you walk in this cabin, both sides of those walls are glass. So, and they had benches in there when we were there. And we could sit down on those benches, and we did for probably about 2 or 3 hours just watching the wolves. Here's one of them, got something to eat, and now he's going to go bury it and keep it for a later time, since he knows he's going to be fed every day. So they always put stuff out there. They hide them under different things to let the animals hunt for their food, and then like this one's bearing it. And it was just interesting watching everything. These are not trained animals. This is their natural behavior. And we really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, we spent a couple hours in here looking at these beautiful, beautiful wolves. This was probably my most fun thing that I did before I went into Yellowstone. And you felt like you could just reach out and pet them because you were right next to them. So I really, really enjoyed this. So if you're in Yellowstone and if you want to see wolves up and close and personal, I would say this would be something you might want to go and do. We've been there twice, and both times we've spent probably 2 or 3 hours with the wolves, and we really enjoy it. And every time we go, they do something different, and they're just beautiful, beautiful animals, and they're taking good care of them and giving them lots of love and care. Now, they're wild animals. You can't walk in there, but they do have free reign where they're at and can do anything they want and climb and live more of a natural life. So I hope you enjoyed my video of Yellowstone today and talking about the wolves and the bears. Well, the next day we went out on a tour that you can take through Yellowstone, and as you see, we saw this beautiful eagle. Now, it was still snowing pretty heavy. That's another reason why we went on a tour. And as you can see, I was so shocked to see how much snow there was for May. As you can see, there's bears and there's buffalo out there, and lots of wild animals. I am so glad that we spent the money for the tour. We would have never been able to see all this and take pictures if we hadn't been. Another great thing about going on the tours in Yellowstone is that they know where the wild animals are if you can find. Look at the bears and the animals up there. There was so many animals I couldn't believe in the wild. So if you want to see nature, Yellowstone is the place to go. Even in bad weather, you can see something. In the far distance, you can see different animals climbing up on that ridge. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today of Yellowstone, my magical, wonderful place to go. Always seeing something interesting, something I normally would not have seen where I lived. I know when I was on the bus, I said I got a little nervous about all the snow. And it says, I've never been in a blizzard before, and everyone turned around to look at me. I said, I live in Southern California. We don't get snow, more or less blizzard type snow. And just to give you how bad it really was, this is a Central Divide sign. On this side of the street, the snow was all the way up to the sign. On the other side of the road, there was about 4 feet of clean area where the sign was above the ground. That's how bad it was. And you can see that snow was really coming down. I was so glad we were on a tour because I didn't have to worry about the weather. And we'll show you some more wonderful footage, so keep coming back. And just to show you what it's like to see Old Faithful in the snow, and when we're having a blizzard, here is Old Faithful. You can barely tell what it is because it is so much snow coming down. And because it was so watery, so icy, I stayed in the building and took these pictures. I wasn't going to get close to that and slip on some ice. But it was still an experience that I will never forget. And these pictures will always remind me of the magical place of Yellowstone. So please, if you have not been there, think about the investment to go. It's once in a lifetime experience, and I've been lucky we've went twice. Maybe I'll make it a third time, maybe I won't. But I've been there both times in May, and there's always snow in May. So if you don't want to hit snow, try to hit the more of the middle of the summer. But I was told when I went on that tour, I said, when is it not snowing? He said it can snow anytime here.